Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of The Amazing Race. This season, it's starting out at a California Buddhist temple, pretty much right outside of LA. They have some pretty diverse teams this season. Olympic snowboarders, former winners of Survivor, guess who? Father-son who sailed around the world, siblings as usual, couples as usual, gay flight attendants, hello, and showgirls. Well, maybe former showgirls, I don't know. 12 legs, 11 teams. The first to check in this leg of the race gets an express pass, and that is basically like a get out of jail free token. So they started right away with the first task, and that was to find the parasol that has 3 letters that will help you figure out that you're going to be traveling to Taipei, Taiwan. So the last one finished out of that task gets a hazard, which they have to complete in this leg of the race. So, ooh, scary. The showgirls ended up finishing last. Yeah, they're gonna have to do a hazard coming up. But that's not the only problem that befell them. When they stopped at the gas station to get directions, one of them dropped their passport on the ground. Oy vey. That's all I've got to say. Without a passport, you're dead in the water. We've seen it in previous seasons where people have lost their passport and they cannot continue. All right, so Ethan and Jenna, they're under the impression that nobody's going to know that they're from Survivor, so they're going to try and keep that under, keep it on the down low. Good luck, kids. Everybody obviously knows that they're from Survivor. And update on the passport. Some dudes took it to the airport via Twitter. They figured out that all they had to do was find the name in it to find out whose it was, but somehow through Twitter they found out that they needed to get it to the airport, and they actually gave it to them. Those showgirls are so lucky. I cannot even believe it, because that could have been the end for them. All right, so at Taipei, at the next leg of the race there, they have to meet at that square. There's no clue box. All it says is look up. They have to figure out that this electronic billboard is the next clue. And it's not that easy because nobody's getting it. And by the way, Marcus thinks also that he's not going to tell anybody that he's a football guy. So we'll see how long that lasts. I don't know if anybody believed him anyway, because he kind of really looked like a football guy. They finally start to figure out that that is the clue, and they get some random people to read it to them, and it says that they need to go to Confucius Temple, Taipei Confucius Temple, where there's a roadblock. It's basically like a telephone game. You have to use the telephone to dial 1-800-CONFUCIUS and or something like that. And he says a proverb, and you have to repeat it back word for word. It's 2 sentences long to the Buddhist monk. And if you're right, you get a clue to the next part of the race. But it was really hard. That you had to do it word for word exactly. And you couldn't write it down or anything, so you pretty much had to memorize it. It looked really hot there, by the way. How many people noticed that a lot of the people that were even just waiting around were like freaking soaked with sweat? Ugh. I mean, it didn't look like it was raining. It looked like that was sweat. So Ernie and Cindy got it first, and then the siblings. But the grandparents, they were freaking dying out there. They couldn't even figure out that the billboard was the clue. And they were going all over the place. They were going downtown, and they were going up elevators and buildings because they thought that, that they should look up, and they were just totally clueless, literally. So the next part of the race is Dragon Boat Race Team. Oh my God, I love those dragon boats. So one person on each team had a little job. One was the paddler, one was the, bang on the drum. That was so much fun. That was really a fun activity for the Amazing Race. The showgirls, they made up some time. They memorized their thing right away. So they were able to go and finish their hazard, which was an indoor bungee jump, which was a little scary because one of them, the last time that she bungee jumped, the last time I bungee jumped, my thing was opening up. You know, my harness was coming unraveled. Ugh, horrors. I just hate that when I bungee jump. How many people have actually bungee jumped before? It figures. All right, so Liz of the twins was also having a problem memorizing the proverb. It took them like 1,000 times. Well, it took her like 1,000 times before she actually got it right. Hello, all you had to do was add 1 or 2 words at a time and, you know, methodically go back and forth, and you would have had it in like 1/4 the time that it actually took you. Well, the grandparents lucked out. They finally realized that the clue was the billboard. They got somebody to figure it out. They went to the temple, and it looked like she got it on the first try. She is the principal of a school. She should be able to memorize stuff because, I mean, she's, you know, all book smart and everything. So let's talk about the pit stop. It was at the Martyr Shrine. And Ernie and Cindy came in first place, and they won the Express Pass, and they also just happened to be one of my favorite teams. Then they were followed by Terry and Sandy, and Justin and Jennifer, and then in 4th place was Ethan and Jenna, and then 5th place, Amani and Marcus, and 6th place, and 7th place, and 8th place. Let's see. Lawrence and Zach, Andy and Tommy, Ron and Bill, all 3 are my top favorites. You gotta love them. Then Kaylani and Lisa in 9th, and in 10th, Liz and Marie. So that, if you've done the math correctly, that means the grandparents came in last place. But not to worry, it's a non-elimination leg. And I was kind of suspecting that was going to happen. And you know what that means. They have to do a speed bump next time. But another little shocker here. A first time ever in the history of the Amazing Race, a double elimination. I love that twist. Absolutely love it. So next time, the oldies have to do the speed bump and hope they come in higher than 3rd from the end if they want to stay in the race. So next week is the old double elimination. Well, actually, it's the new double elimination because they've never done it before. So guys, let me know who your favorite teams are in the comments. I told you mine. It was Ernie and Cindy because they worked really well together. Lawrence and Zach because I love the whole father-son type of thing. You know, Maddie and I, mother-daughter, father-son. Andy and Tommy. They're a bunch of stoners. I love them. And Ron and Bill, I always root for the gays. Always. So till next week, much love.